So today's practice is going to be dealing mostly with the throat and the head glands. So what we talked about when we talked about the thyroid and the parathyroid, I failed to mention a lot to do with this idea of Jalandhara Bandha. So that thing that we did when we stroked the throat downward, to feel that sense of a softening of a Jalandhara, feel that softening. So the back of the head rises, which then allows the energy to get enlivened in the back of the head. Maybe you'll feel that in a softening. When there's a clamping down, we're shutting down our energy. So always the idea, that's why using the muscles as our point of reference on how to do poses and do practice will only get us so far, because at some point we have to release the muscular focus to move into the more subtle realms. So feeling that stroking down of the Jalandhara Bandha, so instead of the chin lock and holding it back there, but can I feel my thyroid softening down into my thymus and my heart, xiphoid process, just feel that connection. So be employing that in certain poses for sure. The parathyroids will bring us into some twisting. And then of course, there'll be some upside down stuff. So if you are on your cycle or not wanting to do inversions today, please modify by doing some gentle forward folds, or you could, if you can do any sort of inversion, a legs up the wall might be nice. I would have some blocks nearby to do a supported shoulder stand or something like that, because there will be some element of upside downness since we are doing in the head. Again, that being said, if going upside down is just not going to be good for you today because you're not inverting, do your cycles or whatever you are, you can always take a chair here and let your, just hang a little bit. So feel free to give yourself some energy so you can feel the breath and the prana in the head. I'm just letting you know that for later on in the class. In the meantime, let's start laying down, please. On your backs. Actually, I lied. Let's start on your stomachs if you can. Now, I personally don't like laying on my stomach in crocodile pose a lot. But today, I found ways to make it so I like it. Part of my issue is that my head, my forehead, on my hands, my bones just really hurt together. So I like to put like a little bit of a blanket, not too much, just a towel or just a little bit of a narrow blanket on top of my hands here, so that when I rest my forehead, it's not just bone to bone. So lay on your bellies for Makarasana, crocodile pose. Glasses probably off here. Resting forehead on the tops of your palms. Legs can be wide and splayed or narrow. You decide. I'm just going to warm up through the glands here, through the chakras. But first, just allow your breath to move into the belly and allow yourself to feel that sense of resistance from the floor on the belly. Just stay here with your breathing without controlling or having a specific measure for the breath. Just allow yourself to really be supported in a full, deep exhale here. Now allow your awareness to come to your pelvic floor, going all the way back to that first day, that first weekend. Opening the pelvic floor on inhale, and on exhale, just letting that pelvic floor lift, and seeing if there's any energy that rises up the body. And then on inhale, relax. Exhale, let it rise up. So I'm inhaling from top to bottom, exhaling bottom to top. Release your breathing and just take a moment and just acknowledge that root chakra in the form of your pelvic floor, your perineum. Notice that the perineum, if we call that the root, is not at the base of this tailbone. So it's not about the spine. So if we're going from a kundalini or an energy rising up the body from the perineum, we're actually moving from more of the notochord. So it'll be more central to the body. Versus if we put the focus at the tailbone, it would definitely be more of the spine, since the tail is part of your spine. And now bring that energy now into your hip bone region, ovaries or prostate. And just allow your breaths to move up and down, in and out, side to side, into that region. The second chakra area, the reproductive glands. And let that go. Now just to let the breath move into the third chakra, Manipura chakra, city of gems. Starting with just the belly. Knowing from a glandular place, you've explored the adrenals and the pancreas here. But from just a chakra area, let's just go ahead and feel the belly now. Allowing it to widen the back ribs, the side bodies. And release the breath. And now breathing into the heart. And as you allow that breath to move into the heart, can you feel it expand and inform your shoulders and your arms into your hands? And since your forehead is resting on your hands, just know that it is being bathed, that your third eye and heart are being bathed and nourished by each other's energy and presence. And just let that rest. Now bring the breath into the throat, the thyroid, the parathyroid, the carotid bodies. Bring your arms down by your side so your hands are next to your face, your elbows in close to the body. And then inhale, let energy rise from the tail all the way up. So it's a little baby cobra here. And then exhale, lengthen back down. Turn your head to the side so your right cheek rests on the floor. And then inhale up. Do not strain your muscles here, just feeling the energy up that channel, whether it's your spine or your central channel, and then turn your head to the other side so the left cheek rests on the floor. Inhale up. And then exhale, other cheek. Have a sense of now perhaps your left upper parathyroid relating to your right lower rib cage, rotating your head down and up a couple rounds. And your right upper parathyroid relating to your left lower ribs. Doesn't have to be a big movement, should be no strain here, just finding, can I find those diagonal lines as I move slowly up and down. And then when you're done, just go back to crocodile pose and take a moment. Roll over onto your backs, please. Place your hands gently on the back of your neck, your fingertips along the spine, elbows out to the side, and just palpate gently one side and the other. So I'm sort of pressing into my right neck a little bit with my finger pads and then my left neck a little bit. As if I'm a cat sort of kneading my neck, just sort of kneading it side to side, just a little bit there. And as I'm palpating now my right side of my neck, I'm going to allow my head to move gently over to the right. And as I palpate my left, I'm going to allow my head to move back to center and then to the left. So I'm just gently kneading. Yeah, I'm going to feel my muscle a little bit back there. I'm going to feel some fluids, maybe some bone. But just take a little free exploration as you allow your hands, which are informed by your heart, to move your head just a little bit side to center, to side to center. Let your hands freely move around. They might go up to your occiput. They might move up the skull. But have a good time here playing with your neck and your head, just gently informed by that heart-hand connection. So as you move yourself, you're moving from your hands are inspired by your heart. And then bring the arms out to the side when you're done. Take a moment and feel. Bring these into the chest. Inhale and exhale. You can hiss a little bit if you want to as you bring your body up. Feel that thyroid drawing down. And then inhale through the nose, a little ujjayi, bring the head back. Just do only 2 or 3 with the hiss and then move just to breathing. Feel that thyroid dripping down like we did at the beginning of class, all the way down that channel of the circuitry. And then inhale back, and then one more time, exhale. Inhale. Now hug your right knee in, exhale. Ujjayi, bring extend your left leg out, right nose in, inhale. And then exhale, other leg. Inhale. Can you do it without straining your neck? And even if, let's say my neck's feeling tight, maybe I can just feel my thyroid drip down as I exhale, and then inhale, and then exhale, just feel that thyroid countering. Maybe my head goes up just a little bit then. Do it a couple more times per side. Connecting through all of my glands here. Bring the knees into the chest. Arms out to the side in cactus pose or letter T. And now inhale, feel that sense of your right ovary or prostate as you take your knees over to the left. I'm feeling the countering of my right ovary and prostate, and then coming back to the center. Let's just do it that direction again. So just take my knees to the left, feel that right ovary, prostate leading into the diagonal between my ankles as my ankles twist. And then the next time, move it up from my ovary, prostate into my kidney, adrenal area, relating to the knees moving to the side. So finding my diagonal there. We're only going to one side for right now. And then the same thing again. And now moving up just a little bit more as I feel how my heart is that blending center, allowing my right ribs to go to the right as my knees go to the left, as I come back in. And one more time to that direction. Feeling my ribs, heart, hand, right hand, moving away from my knees, going to the left, coming back to the center and releasing everything down. Take a moment and feel little mini Shavasana or feet flat on the floor, knees to the ceiling. Bring the knees back in, arms out to the side. Inhale and exhale, slowly lower your knees over to your right head, not head, we're not reading the head yet, and bring it back up. So just find that sense of that twist from your ankles relating to your prostate or ovary of your left, bringing it back to center. A couple times with that ankle reproductive organ gland scenario. And then a couple times with the knee, kidney, adrenal diagonal as you take the same twist. Keeping that throat soft, the brain soft, spaciousness in the upper realms. And then feeling that sense of my twisting with the knees, my left rib cage and my heart and my arm relating to the left as my knees go to the right. If you've gone through that whole sequence, come back to the center, hug the knees for one moment, and then take a little moment to let your pranic awareness register. And let's start on our right side in a loose fetal position. So now my knees are already in the shape of the twist. My left arm is on top. I'm going to move it over the top of my head, opening my arm, and my head and my upper body is going to move over to the left as my legs stay to the right. Then my arm's going to come over and close myself back up. So now just take a couple of those just to feel that pathway. And now we're going to get smaller. So now from laying on the side, can I find myself and let my arm follow that pathway, find my twist from my parathyroid into my rib. So my upper parathyroid relates to the diagonal of my lower opposite rib. My lower parathyroid relates to my opposite upper rib cage section. And just start seeing, can I find this twist from my parathyroids? And again, don't let your head get in the way. If it is in the way, it's helping you, great. Otherwise, feel free to move freely. And then stay in the twist this time. Can you feel that sphenoid, that butterfly action from in the brain, but also in the heart, around your sternum? Can I feel that butterflying of my heart through my arms? And then moving that butterfly action down to my pelvic floor. Can I feel that area where it might be like a pelvic sphenoid, or maybe my pelvis is the whole sphenoid of my torso, butterflying into my legs. So I'm actually experiencing my feet as well as my head. Do less. And then bring your left arm over the top to a loose fetal position and just stay there for a moment. And roll onto your back. And take a moment. If you need to, come back to the world, open your eyes. And if you've been doing eyes closed, to see what it feels like to open your eyes. And then left side of your body, you're laying on your left side in your loose fetal position. You'll be seeing my back now if you're looking at the camera. If not, that's fine. And take that pathway of your right arm going over your head, opening yourself into that twist. And coming back, just take it a few times big so you can feel that pathway of how your arm and head connects, so they might connect there. Once you've got that going, then get more specific and see if you can play with twisting from your parathyroids. Again, having your own experience of this. Can you find that energy, that connection between the parathyroids in the back and your front lower rib? Can you pull them into relationship to each other somehow with your awareness? Or your lower parathyroids, somehow pull them into relationship somehow with your chest ribs. And eventually stay in the twist, feeling your sphenoiding arms and heart and ribs softening. The sphenoid in your brain, your eyes resting, your nasal passages, feeling the butterfly of that bone, your pituitary resting in that sella turcica, that Turk saddle. And your throat, your thyroid, being the keystone arch here of this twist. What's it like to have that be the keystone instead of your lower back? Bring your arm over your head. Rest on your left side for a moment. And then roll onto your back. And take a moment here to allow your nervous system and your glands to share their pranic insights with you. Let's roll over onto all fours. Slide your right knee back about 3 inches. And inhale, feel that sweep of prana move up into the throat, into the head, and then exhale back down into the pelvis. Asymmetrical pelvis now. And then inhale back up. And then exhale asymmetrically. Feel that because your knee is bent, your right knee is back a little bit, it's not symmetrical in the pelvis, which is perfectly fine for what we're doing right now. And see if that slight indicator of diagonal helps bring you up to the throat, leading you into those diagonal pathways of those nadis. Do one more. Stay there with your legs in diagonal and then move them to even. And just notice if you feel any pranic awareness moving through your body. Left knee back, inhale up, exhale, slide back. This movement is an invitation to see where, if you are aware, to see what chakra is dominant for you right now, and to invite movement between all of the chakras. To invite flow and connection between all of your chakras. Can you feel how the neck and the throat might be a bridge? It might be a place of communication, of communing, of communication. Then come on up. Take a moment in the asymmetry, move it into symmetry. Slide your right leg back behind you. Now lift your left arm up. Feel that twist opening. And then exhale, gonna thread it through. You're gonna come up and down a few times, feeling that butterfly through the heart, but allow that twist to feel free in your neck and your brain, as well as freer in your pelvis. So inhaling it up, and then exhale, sliding it down. We'll do one more. Inhale, float it up. And then exhale, slide it down. You can stay there, resting your left arm on the floor. Extend your right leg out behind you if you like. Breathing now in, allowing that energy to move in. If you like to raise your right leg up, great. Otherwise, stay down. Inhale, exhale, bend your right knee in. And inhale, extend your right knee out. Exhale, bend the right knee in. So it's just a little pranic pump here. Inhale, extend it out. Exhale, bring it on in. Inhale, extend. And then release the leg down. Inhale, bring your left arm up. And then exhale, come. And before we do the other side, sit back into Vajrasana and feel the differences between your right sides and your left sides. Notice if you feel one side of your throat or your thyroid or your parathyroids or carotids a little bit more present or available than the other. Maybe one side of your nostrils, one nostril is more open than the other. Anything going on in the head, maybe even the body, one side might feel warmer, one side might feel cooler. As we work with these sides, we're working with our nadis. Come back to center. Slide your left leg back behind you. Inhale, float that right arm, that right butterfly wing up, and then exhale, thread it through. And then inhale up, and then exhale, thread it through. You'll go to your own range of motion. Inhale up. Exhale. When I add the glands to it, I have, for me today especially, I'm finding I have way more range of motion when I don't do it that way. And then stay there, allowing now my throat to be part of this equation, connecting all the way up from my heart to my throat, heart, thymus, throat chakra, those glands up into my pituitary, and slide my left leg back, lift it up if you want. Inhale, exhale, bend, bring it on in. Inhale, slide it back. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, slide it back. Exhale, slide it in. Little pranic pump. Inhale back. We'll do one more. Exhale in. Inhale. Release the leg down. Bend. Inhale, butterfly up. Down. And then sit back into Vajrasana. Allow that breath now to feel it up and down. And I will say the spine. You can either go with your spine or your notochord or just your central body. I'll probably be moving from spine to central channel as I go through the class. So use whatever place is working for you. Back to fours. Inhale, curl the toes up. Exhale, slide back to down dog now. Can you feel your left parathyroid moving into your right lower ribs? Your right lower ribs moving into your left ovary or prostate or sit bone. Feeling that web. My right parathyroid moving into my left lower rib moving into my right ovary or prostate. Having both of those ovaries or prostates meeting in my perineum. And then feeling my tail is separate from my pelvic floor. So it's got its own little kind of thing. So kind of do a little tail wiggle here. Just up and down with the tail. Just feeling a little pranic pump there. And now allow that golden drip moving all the way from your tail to the spine, out the top of your head, your third eye, right leg up into three-legged. Open those hips, feel that sense of space. Exhale, square the hips off a bit, and then lower your right hip a bit, and then inhale, open it back up. So I'm feeling this opening, this condensing and expanding. And just like I have a sphenoid in my brain, my pelvis is a sphenoid bone, I think. So as I'm opening and closing my hip, can I feel myself opening and closing, condensing and expanding chambers in my skull, in my brain? Be gentle. And then leg straight back, inhale. And exhale, bring your leg through to the lunge, back knee off the floor for, classic feet peels. So just let that bring you peeling forward and back. If at any time you get a headache or start to feel like a headache, just do more physical practice, okay? Don't worry so much about the glands. We might have already done way too many. Release your left knee to the floor. Inhale, float that right arm up. And then exhale, find that gentle twist. You can cross that arm all the way over, hands to the heart in prayer. Breathe deep in. Exhale, now feel that sense of breath moving up and down that central channel. Feel the volume as you breathe wide. And as you exhale, feel that prana moving up and down that central channel, the length. One more breath in. Exhale. One more. Release. Go ahead and release your left hand to the floor. I'm going to slide my left hip down. Now I'm going to feel this whole parathyroid laterally now as I go into my left rib cage. Seeing what's happening in my neck to relate into my ribs. Turn my head so I'm allowing that gentle twist to inform what's happening in my ribs. And then scoot my right leg over, cross it, and then let rest down into through the whole pose. Remember, we talked a little bit about how the second chakra not only relates to the sixth, but also, how the fifth chakra not only relates to the sixth, how the moon is shining in the Soham we talked about earlier, but also how the fifth chakra, the throat, relates to the second for our seats of creativity and expression of that creativity. So as we do through the whole pose, inviting the connection between my second chakra and my fifth chakra. Each breath is an experience of your own prana. One-to-one breath ratio if you are working with breath ratios today. Direction of breath would be possibly moving down, top to bottom, exhale, bottom to top. If you're doing something else though, don't worry. One more breath. And go ahead and put your feet down, bring your body up. That thyroid helping me as I roll over onto my right, hands to the mat, slide myself onto my mat, and then exhale, spin myself into down dog with my half lotus. Release the leg back up, the right leg, bring it into downward facing dog pose. Walk or jump your feet between your hands to Uttanasana. Clasp your elbows. Let your elbows be part of your glandular system. I won't tell you where. You'll know where they are. There's many places they could be for you. And then release. Go ahead and give your lower back a little love. Hamstrings, knees, and then drip your arms down. Bend your legs. Inhale, come up through chair pose. Feel the alignment of those energy centers here. And then inhale all the way up. Float the arms down. Take a moment. Clasp hands behind. Open collarbones. You're feeling that head drop back. That sense of your thymus, xiphoid process, and heart. And then when you come up, can you feel that thyroid drop down, milking it down as you bring your head up? Release your hands. Take a moment and feel. Okay, we're going to do the other side, and I'm not going to talk so much about the chakra relationships at this point, so you don't get in your brain so much. Okay, so I'm just going to give you poses now. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale over. Inhale, come up to your Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. You can suspend, float back, jump back to plank, move down chaturanga or not. Up dog. Again, that would be a place for your thyroid. I said I was going to do that, but I did it anyway. And now feel that thyroid move back into the second chakra, into the tail. Your down dog. In fact, before we do the other side, let's do that again. So allow that tail to push you forward, up into the throat and the head, lower down. And then from here, feel that sense of your push from the heart arms into your thyroid, into the glands in your head, out the top of your head. And then from there, that psychic push comes through you to bring you back to down dog. And you do one more time without me narrating. Finding that glandular connection, heart, thyroid, pituitary, back to tail, left leg up into three-legged now. Opening the hips. And then exhale, dropping it down, rolling the hips open and condensing and expanding. And then bring your leg through, peel the back feet, allow that sense to move all through that way, the waves of energy, all chakras. Is there a different presence in your neck, your throat, your head, your eyes? Release your right knee down. Inhale, breathe your right arm up. Exhale, feel that twist. Finding it from the glands, maybe the parathyroids. You might also be finding some deliciousness from your kidney adrenals down into the bladder, or even your ovaries, prostate, into uterus or scrotum. And release. Right hand to the floor. Drop your right hip down. I'm feeling a sense of that lateral stuff now in my neck. My parathyroid's opening up my ribs. And then just look down. Let's really move from this point of view, this nadi. By giving it so much attention. When we give it attention, it may not need as much of attention when we're going more for center line later. And then roll onto your bum. Bring that left foot across, scoot your butt back onto the floor. Bend and now roll through the whole pose now. Inhale 6, exhale 6. And then release, feet down, bring your body up, roll over onto your left leg, hands come to the mat, right leg prepares, and then slide back into your down dog with your half lotus. Release that. Left leg up, back to down dog. Bend the knees of the hips. And then if you want to walk or jump your feet between your hands to Uttanasana. And now just rolling up through the energy centers. Take a moment, stand, close eyes, feel. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale over Uttanasana. Inhale, feel that sense of playing of that thyroid supporting your throat and your neck. Exhale, spring back to plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Feeling the heart, throat there. Exhale, downward dog. Right leg up into three-legged one more time. Open the hips this time. And now we're going to feel that spiral. As if you were going to flip your dog over. Now you don't have to flip it, but can I feel that connection, that spiral through my body all the way to my parathyroids? Can I allow my parathyroids to actually indicate a flipping of the dog here? And how does that affect my throat and my head? And then can I allow my parathyroids and my thyroid to help bring me back around to down dog. With one leg up, bring your right leg through to warrior one. Exhale. Inhale, straighten that front leg. And then exhale. Bring the arms down by your sides. You go forward, flat back. Through all the chakras. Inhale, arms come up by your sides as you come back up. And then let your head look up this time so you can feel that thyroid. And then exhale, thyroid drinks down. Feel that Jalandhara Bandha without over activating it. Inhale, and then you release Jalandhara. Feel the parathyroid supporting the back of the neck. Exhale. We'll do one more. Inhale up. Exhale. Clasp the hands behind you, rest them on the small of the back, and take the body all the way over if you can. And then let the arms drip down. Take a moment here. Inhale 6, exhale 6. Walk that back foot in a smidgen if you want to. You can just stay where you are, depending on your hamstring. You might grab a block. And then inhale, come up to flat back, and then twist. Can I find it from my parathyroids and my heart and my lungs, and let my arm be the last thing to go into my rotated triangle pose. Exhale, release, come back down. Step back to down dog. Walk or jump your feet between your hands to Uttanasana. Again, rolling up now through all the chakras. Take a moment, stand and feel. Other side, inhale up. Exhale over. Can inhale up to Ardha Uttanasana. Flow back, chaturanga of your choice, or skip it. Feel that sense of connection through the glands. Exhale, down dog. Left leg up into three-legged. I think I'm going to run into my wall. Open it up. Can I find that spiral from my parathyroids into my body? Maybe taking me mentally or physically into the flip dog. And once I'm there, can my parathyroids be the thing that initiates me coming back to three-legged? And how does that change your experience, if it does? And then bring your left leg forward to warrior one. Soften and sink. Inhale, straighten that front leg. And then find that sense of my glands all the way up. Exhale, flat back forward. Inhale, come on up. Exhale. Inhale up, about 6 counts. Letting the head go, bringing it back. Inhale up. Feeling that sense of my skull moving gently. Hands clasped, take it all the way forward. Release the arms down. Inhale 6, exhale 6. Walk your back foot in a little bit if you like. Get your blocks if necessary. Inhale, bring your body up to a flat back. From there, feel that rotation in the parathyroids, in the glands, and then allow my arm to be the decoration for a rotated triangle. And release down. Stepping back to down dog. Coming to fours, sliding back to child's pose. Taking yourself back to when you were a baby, when you had different proportions, and just allow your child's pose to be a way to bathe nourishment, healing into the glands of your neck, to rejuvenate and honor and nourish the glands in our head. Letting all tension drain out into the mat, into the earth. Let's flip over onto our backs. You will want your blocks nearby for a supported shoulder stand at some point. We're going to do a couple back bends that really will give us a chance to highlight the throat. So, of course, bridge. Inhale, float hips and arms up. And as you exhale, hips and arms down. And as you go up, notice what you normally feel when you do your dynamic bridge. Depending on the last class you've had or what your last area of interest would be, might be governing what your first thing of feeling is, and that's fine. Now, can you feel or sense your bridge as you go up and down if everything was through your feet? If your feet were governing this up and downness. And just notice how things change. And then move your attention to your pelvis, your pelvic floor. And when that's the keystone or that's governing the relationship, just notice, does your tempo change? Does your experience change? Does your mood change? Does your attitude change? Has something changed? And now let's think about it from the sense of the heart. Everything's moving through the arms and the heart here. How does that change it for you? I know I'm sliding into something that's kind of annoying me. And now, what if the throat was the keystone? What if that gentle sliding of the thyroid that we did at the very beginning of class, just sliding your thyroid up and down, how does that change your bridge? And then just stay in your bridge. You can experiment as long as you like. You can keep experimenting if you want, otherwise stay in bridge. You can do this practice more times than just this. And when you're ready, bring your arms down by your sides and do whatever expression of bridge pose you want to do. But can I find that sense of softness in my throat? Can I find that place of the bridge between my body and my mind? Can I feel my throat is soft and ready to respond, ready to communicate my truth to myself first? If I can't hear my own truth, then it's really not fair or nice of me, not that nice is important, to start blabbing my truth to everybody else if I can't even hear my own truth to myself. Softening your throat, can it lead up to that softening of where the notochord maybe was, through the mammillary bodies, through the pituitary, the pineal, through the pituitary, resting now between the eyes. And inhale, let that breath support you on the way down. And take a moment. Constructive rest, so knees knocked together, or just mini shavasana or supta baddha konasana. Any symmetrical pose where you can just have some pranic awareness here. All right. Moving on to the belly. Do some locust pose, but not just the Shalambhasana you all probably know and love, even though you are allowed to do that. But the one that's a little bit more challenging. So I'm going to have you bring your arms in. Women, you need to adjust your breasts, however, and maybe make a fist with the thumb on top or somewhere like this. It's going to be onto the floor here. So my arms and fists here. If you have elbow issues and stuff like that, then if it hurts you in a way that just does not feel right, of course, back out of it, all right? But this is one that is in the yoga text, even talks about bringing a lot of blood and a lot of energy to the thyroid. So I figured I might as well teach it today. So I'm going to scooch myself together here and then lay down on my belly. Well, I'm going to get on my belly first. I'm going to lay on my side, then scooch everything together. And then roll onto my arms, get everything comfortable. My chin will be on the ground. That's part of it. That's part of this locust pose. So my chin's on the ground, pressing my chin into the floor, pressing my fists into the floor. Inhale, exhale, press your left leg into the floor as you lift your right leg. Inhale, right leg comes down. Exhale, press the right leg down, left leg lifts up. Inhale, left leg comes down. Exhale, press left leg down, right leg goes up. Still got energy in my hands, my whole glandular system here. Exhale, press the right leg down, left leg goes up. Now feel free to keep going back and forth, leg to leg, or try both. Inhale, exhale, press the fist down, the chin down, lift the legs up, and then stay there. Or not, it's hard. Take that a couple of times. And when you're done, crocodile pose. And then roll over onto your back one more time. If there's questions on that pose, I will break it down for you after practice. Now get your block. Where's mine? I'll go get my block. For supported shoulder stand, you can do regular shoulder stand here if you like to, but I'm not going to walk you through setting up blankets and all that kind of stuff. So if you've got that going on and you want to do it, this is the perfect class for a full out shoulder stand. Otherwise, supported is just the easiest to teach on Zoom. So that's what I've been doing lately. Hips can be resting here. If you're not inverting today, you can just do Supta Baddha Konasana without the hips elevated here. You can take your block, shoulder stand on a higher rung if you want to make it a little bit more shoulder standy, or even take it on the highest rung of the block. But you should feel stable. So sometimes the foam blocks are too squishy to feel stable here. To start by getting yourself into a position. Some of you may need to bend your knees if your hamstrings aren't happy. And begin by inhaling up the front of your body and exhaling down the back. So inhale from pubic bone up the front to your throat and third eye, and then exhale third eye down the back of your spine to your tailbone. Just a couple more rounds of that. Now feeling that wholeness, move into your root. You can repeat Muladhara, 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 or the Bija mantra would be Lam. Or if you get a color or a picture, just let that be your experience at your root chakra. And move it up into your second chakra. Bija mantra 1. You can repeat Svadhisthana, Svadhisthana. Or something else. You're just feeling this gentle inversion, allowing that energy to rise up your body into your navel center, Manipura. Rum, 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 or rum. Whatever qualities. And into your heart. Bija mantra Yam. The name is Anahata. Moving into the throat. Vishuddhi. Hum. Move into the Agnya chakra, the third eye. Soham. Take a moment or two just to feel yourself as your wholeness. And when you're ready, slowly start to bring yourself out of the pose. If you've got a block, that might take some manipulating. And just find a comfortable way to experience. Hug the knees into the chest if you're ready. And slowly, knees to the left, head to the right, feeling all the glands gently rotating. Coming back up. Knees to the right, head to the left. Feel that spiral through the glands, through the chakras. Dynamically moving just gently side to side through that center where everything's in that sort of what we would call a straight line, even though they really aren't moving as we rotate it, but they might be a little bit. And then stay with your knees to the left, head to the right. Just a gentle reclining twist. Inhale 6, exhale 6. Come back to the center. Before you do the other side, stay in a symmetrical pose for a moment. Let it sink in. Let your prana resonate. When you've resonated enough for yourself, and you'll know when that is, knees to the right, head to the left, gentle reclining twist, inhale 6, exhale 6. Softening in the chakras, softening in your being. This is not the time to be on alert or on guard. And come back to the center. Hug the knees into the chest. Anything you need to do for yourself before Shavasana, this is your time to do that. Once you're done, yourself into Shavasana. And just start by observing the prana, the flow of prana in your body right now. Is it moving up and down, in and out? Is there a side to side quality to it, a spiraling quality? Or maybe you don't know, and maybe this is not the time to decide. Now feel the wave of prana moving from your feet, like a wave, like you're in the ocean, from your feet all the way to the top of your head, and then exhale down from crown to feet. Just keep repeating that. Inhale up from feet to crown, exhale from crown to feet. And now inhale from knees to crown, exhale crown to knees. Inhale, pelvic floor to crown. Exhale, crown to pelvic floor. Inhale, hip bones to crown. Exhale, crowned hips. Keep repeating. Inhale, belly to crown. Exhale, crown to belly. Just keep repeating that wave on your own breath rhythm. Inhale, heart to crown. Exhale, crown to heart. Inhale, throat to crown. Exhale, crown to throat. Inhale, third eye to crown. Exhale, crown to third eye. Now inhale from the tip of your nose to your crown. Exhale, crown to the tip of your nose. When in doubt, do less. And then just do less. And then just rest in the awareness of your prana, of your energy. Bask in the essence of yourself as wholeness. And begin to deepen your breath. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in and release. You can gently wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit to find the edges of your brand new physical, mental, emotional, vibrational body. Slowly roll your head from side to side, being very cognizant, just giving a nod to the throat and a glance in the head. Yay! And when you're ready, just gently roll onto one of your sides into a loose fetal position. Taking your time. And when you're ready, come to a comfortable seated position for our pranayama and meditation.